It's really scary, but I'm glad they got him.
A wild police chase ends with a crash in a Mercer County neighborhood. We'll hear from those who saw it happen.
First responders helping first responders. We're in Johnson County as a special delivery arrives to help flood victims.
Police find some stolen trucks in Laurel County, but why investigators say they're no longer fit for the road.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
And good evening. Tonight we are tracking the investigation into a shooting at a movie theater in Louisiana. Investigators say that 2 people are dead, including the gunman.
That shooting happened a few hours ago at a theater in Lafayette. An ambulance says 9 people were taken to hospitals after the shooting. There's no word on the extent of their injuries. Police say the gunman entered the theater and opened fire during a screening of the movie Trainwreck. Police say the gunman was a 58-year-old man who was alone. We want you to keep checking WKYT.com for updates on this story. We'll also have the very latest tomorrow morning beginning at 4:30. What police say started as an argument and a kidnapping led to a wild chase in Boyle and Mercer counties, and WKYT was the only TV station there when it ended.
Police say the suspect hit some police cruisers along the way before the chase ended behind a home on Shawnee Drive in Harrodsburg. Our news crew actually ended up in the middle of the chase. New tonight, Monique Blair talked to police and neighbors. It's our top story at 11.
Shortly before 5 o'clock Thursday, Boyle County Chief Deputy Derek Robbins was driving home from work on Perryville Road when a man flagged him down, saying he thought a woman in a nearby car was being held against her will.
The gentleman stated to me that he thought the female was in distress, like she was trying to get away from the male.
Chief Deputy Robbins attempted to pull that car over.
He failed to stop.
A police chase ensued for roughly the next 10 miles.
Mercer County and Harrisburg units were trying to get in front of him to slow him down.
It was right about that time my photographer and I were on our way to a story when we caught the chase as it was happening.
Now, when we caught the chase on camera, it was happening here on North College Drive, but then just about 2 to 3 minutes after we got that video, the suspect car and several police cars turned here into the subdivision, where deputies say that's when the suspect car actually picked up his speed.
So at that point it became pretty dangerous. I felt like.
Chief Deputy Robbins says the car pulled into this yard and drove towards the rear of the house.
At that time I made the decision that I didn't want him to get back out on the road. It's 5 o'clock traffic, there's a lot of people out, and so I just pinned his car between mine and the brick wall.
Chief Deputy Robbins says the male driver tried to run, but he was tased. That didn't work, so a canine bit him. He was arrested, but also transported to a local hospital with minor injuries.
It's really scary, but I'm glad they got him.
Chief Deputy Robbins' cruiser was damaged, but nobody was hurt. The woman was not charged, as deputies determined she was being held against her will. In Harrodsburg, Monique Blair, WKYT.
The suspect has not been booked into the jail because police say he was taken to the hospital first for dog bites. Once booked, we're told he faces several charges, including kidnapping.
Tonight, first responders affected by the flooding in Johnson County last week received help from some of their own. Earlier today, we told you how Lexington police collected donations for those first responders. And just a few hours ago, those donations arrived in Johnson County. New at 11, Garrett Weimer shows us the special delivery.
That group is now here in Johnson County, where they not only brought down donations from the community, but they set up camp here at Flat Gap Elementary School. So in the coming days, they can help even more fellow first responders who fell victim to the flooding. After a full day of collecting donations, it was time to hit the road, driving down the Mountain Parkway to take those supplies where they're needed most. They got to Flat Gap around 9 o'clock, ready to help those who have spent so much time helping others.
You know, they've been out working long hours and dealing with the job, dealing with their losses at home, and hopefully kind of take some of that stress and pressure off them.
Sergeant Ronald Keaton of Lexington Police is from Johnson County. He grew up in Flat Gap, the area hit hardest by flooding.
That community helped shape who I am, my morals, my values, the things I believe in, you know, just the wanting to help others and step up and take care of business.
Keaton says they're ready to get to work and see what they can do to help those first responders here clean up after putting the community first for the past week. That's exactly what these volunteers will be doing over the next few days. In Johnson County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The group took down several cars, the camper full of donations, and an ATV. Sergeant Keaton expects others to join them in their efforts over the next few days. Members of a Johnson County church damaged in the flooding say they were not able to save the building. Earlier this week, demolition crews tore down or burned what was left of Ramey Branch Gospel Church. Longtime members say they hated to see the building go, but now they're focused on rebuilding, and they say they're helping each other too.
Everybody in that community that we went to church with has lost everything that they have, and our hearts go out more for that than for the building.
Last weekend, the church held services outdoors. For now, members say they will worship with another church until they have a new building.
Rain falling in parts of southern Kentucky today, but has since moved out. So will we stay dry on Friday? Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast.
Yeah, I think that is a big yes as of now. For many parts of central and eastern Kentucky, we're going to string together at least a couple of days of mostly dry weather. More typical isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms a possibility over the coming days. Late this evening, those thermometers are looking good and feeling even better if you've been out this evening. Low humidity levels, mid and upper 60s now showing up into parts of eastern Kentucky, right around 70 into much of central parts of the state. Let's hit the fast forward button and show you how we progress into that all-important Friday. Low and mid 60s first part of the day tomorrow, a little fog, upper 70s by your lunchtime hour, and by the time we hit tomorrow afternoon, a lot of mid 80s will likely show up. The closer we get to the next few days, by the way, a lot of those computer models are coming down a little bit, but still should be a mostly sunny day tomorrow. The rain we had earlier into parts of the southern parts of the area now going by the wayside. Your Friday forecast, a little dense fog in the valleys of southern Kentucky where you had the rain. We'll push 80 by your lunchtime hour, mid-80s coming up tomorrow afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. Overall, a great looking and feeling Friday. When I come back in a few minutes, we're going to see a little taste of normal summer weather. What's that all about? We'll track that with the hour-by-hour forecast, guys, for the weekend in just a few minutes.
New tonight, a Clay County man has died after investigators say he was electrocuted while working on a home. It happened in the Bells Fort community. The Clay County coroner says 50-year-old Dwayne Brewster was helping the owner of the home level it when he came in contact with ground wires that had been pulled up. The coroner says the home had been damaged during recent storms.
New tonight, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office arrested two men they say took apart two stolen trucks. Deputies charged 48-year-old Ronnie Davis and 53-year-old Timothy Fields with receiving stolen property, criminal mischief, evidence tampering, and destruction of a VIN number. Deputies say the VIN numbers of both trucks had been removed, the trucks had been taken apart, and the parts scattered. They say that both trucks had been stolen in the spring. Deputies say they also found trailers, four-wheelers, and other items that may have been stolen. A fire forcing shoppers out of a central Kentucky Walmart today. Investigators say a teenager started it.
The Walmart in Frankfort was shut down for part of the afternoon because of the fire. Frankfort police say a 13-year-old started it in the women's accessories section. They say employees were able to put out the fire before firefighters arrived, but a Walmart spokesperson says more than 120 people had to be evacuated from the store. Shoppers called it frustrating.
And I was down 2 cans of pork and beans. So I got a cab to come down here, and of course when I got here, the fire truck and everything.
That store has since reopened. Frankfort police say the 13-year-old could be charged with first-degree arson. New tonight, 2 men had to be airlifted to the hospital after a crash in Pulaski County. It happened around 2:30 this afternoon on Highway 635 near Science Hill. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says 80-year-old Charles Weddle's pickup crossed into the path of another pickup and hit it head-on. Both Weddle and the driver of the other pickup, 51-year-old Sean Stratman, were taken to UK Hospital. Their conditions are not known tonight.
Also new tonight, the state has settled a sexual harassment lawsuit against a former state lawmaker and a current one. An attorney representing 3 state workers who sued said the state settled for $400,000. 2 of the workers say former state representative John Arnold touched them inappropriately. A third said that she was demoted after complaining that Representative Will Coursey sexually harassed some female staffers. Arnold and Coursey did not admit guilt as part of the settlement.
The Kentucky Department of Parks has announced new guidelines for its gift shops and vendors regarding the Confederate flag. Flag-related items will be disappearing from those shops.
We will no longer be selling the Confederate battle flag or items with the battle flag on it. They could be hats, shirts, coffee cups, things like that.
The Kentucky State Fair Board also banned the sale or giveaway of items displaying the Confederate battle flag after current contracts expire. The Department of Parks will still allow historical items like Civil War related books or DVDs that have the Confederate flag on them to be sold. We have an update on breaking news that we told you about at the top of this newscast. Police now say 3 people are dead after a shooting at a movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana. That includes a suspected gunman. Police say he was 58 years old and was alone. Police now say 7 people were taken to hospitals with conditions ranging from non-life-threatening to critical. Keep checking WKYT.com for the very latest updates. Weeks after his controversial comments on immigration, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump visited the U.S.-Mexico border today.
Trump discussed illegal immigration and border patrol during his trip to Laredo, Texas, but he also set up a dramatic scene saying he was putting himself in, quote, great danger by coming to the border area. He also blamed the media for distorting his comments about Mexican immigrants being rapists and criminals.
They take a half a sentence, and they take a quarter of a sentence, they put it all together.
Leaders from a local border patrol union were supposed to take him on a tour, but they pulled out at the last minute. Tonight, firefighters think a car accident sparked a wildfire that so far has burned 6,900 acres near California's famous wine country. The car accident was captured on cell phone video, but firefighters are still investigating the exact cause of it. The fire is threatening about 200 homes and other buildings. Firefighters say it's only 15% contained. 1,300 firefighters are trying to put out the fire.
Tonight, Richmond police have an alert about a computer scam. They say a man received a call from someone named Jerry who identified himself as a senior tech from Windows. The man says the caller told him his firewall and security protections had expired and he was vulnerable to hackers. He says the caller then convinced him to remotely access his computer, but the man says the caller then became angry and started deleting things off his computer after the man declined a firewall protection plan. Richmond police say this is the second report they've received about this type of scam.
A new event this summer will bring opera on a starry night in Lexington. Well, today, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray and Lexington Parks and Recreation announcing Opera Under the Stars. The performance will feature some of Central Kentucky's up-and-coming opera artists. Opera Under the Stars is scheduled for the night of Saturday, August 8th at the Moondance Amphitheater at Beaumont Center.
Well, this was a big night for the new Lexington Theater Company. 42nd Street, the company's inaugural production, debuted tonight at the Lexington Opera House. The production features Tony Award winner Karen Zimba along with some local actors.
We are so excited to be adding our part to the vibrant arts and culture scene in Lexington. We have such a beautiful theatrical community, and we are just hoping to do our part to bring yet another kind of theatrical experience for our Lexington community.
42nd Street runs through Sunday at the Opera House. She said it best, we have a vibrant arts community here,
Yeah,
so
and with
check it out.
These kind of shows, it's only going to get better.